couple more minutes to come on in. Thank you for joining. Those of you already on Instagram, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. Give y'all a couple more minutes. I feel like I should have some light, like some more light. Y'all think I need more light? Hey, y'all. What's up, what's up, what's up? Hey, good evening. I know y'all like, what is going on? We are talking about superheroes versus supervillains. So I'm going to give y'all a couple more minutes to come on in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Ooh, come on in, come on in, come on in. How y'all doing? It is Monday, Monday, Monday. Monday, Monday, Monday. All right, y'all, come on in. How y'all doing? So happy to see y'all. Woo! Look, y'all. All right, we're going to jump right on in. It is 8 o'clock, so Monday, Monday, Monday. Welcome to Real Resilient Conversations, where guess what? We do fun, real topics to do what? Talk about resilience. How we can get back to being resilient, more resilient people. So I'm your host, Quita. If you have not met me, if it's your first time, welcome. If you have been here before, thank you for coming back for your bi-weekly hookup. What's up with the hookup? All right, so guess what? Those of you, if it's your first time, it's a method to the madness. I really did intentionally dress up as Catwoman. We're going to jump into that in a second. So y'all bear with me. Look, these ears, honey, these ears, they do not want to sit still. So now I keep having to pull down on this mask. Y'all bear with me. Blessings to all. Hello, hello, hello. So those of you that are like, what is going on? So superheroes versus supervillains. There's a method to the madness. So let me ask you all a few questions before we get started. So my resilient people, if you could choose any superhero or supervillain to be, what would it be? So while y'all are telling me what it would be, which one you would be, and why you would choose to be it, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. Of course, I chose Catwoman. I'm gonna tell you why I chose Catwoman. Number one, I already had it in the closet. I like to do cosplay sometimes, so Catwoman happened to be in the closet. Number two, while y'all are looking and trying to figure out why in the world I have Catwoman on. Number two, Catwoman is usually played by a strong woman. So if you think about all of the characters that usually played Catwoman were strong, determined women. They were not weak-minded women. Okay, so I had to make sure that what I represented also represented a strong woman, because I get to choose my character, right? Number three, Catwoman came from where? She came from the ghetto with nothing. She started out with nothing, and she was like, that's okay, I'm gonna make sure that I end up with something. So when you think about Catwoman, when I'm thinking about her, she didn't come into money. She ended up having to work for her money or find a way to get her money. So she was one that liked beautiful things. She liked the best of everything. She wanted the best clothing. She wanted the best jewelry. She loved everything that was beautiful. That was Catwoman, okay? But Catwoman made it, she made it out of an abusive household. So she decided she was just going to take her chances out on the streets. Whatever that was, that's what she was going to be. So Catwoman is a very agile. She's very determined. She utilizes her resources in order to get what she wants. So if you think about it, we all have to utilize our resources in one way or another to get what we want, right? So she didn't want to go to she didn't want to become a warden of the state. So she said, what? I'll do the streets. I even take up prostitution for a little bit, because she was willing to do whatever it took in order to, guess what? Become better, to become who she needed to be in order to be strong. She did not operate out of weakness, okay? So, if you think about the storyline, she was killed, and an Egyptian cat brought her back to life. Egyptians are what? They are black. They are from Africa, so Egyptians are black in nature, right? So she the Egyptian cat kind of gave her a superhuman ability, superhuman agility. It gave her super cat-like abilities. So she was able also to romance any and everybody who was attracted to her. So she was able to woo them in. So when you think about it, she could be the supervillain turned into the superhero. So at one point, she was stealing everything because she was known as what? The cat burglar. So she was able to steal each and everything that she wanted. If she thought she wanted it, if she thought it looked good on her, if she thought it was pleasing to her, she took it. So she used all of her resources in order to do what? Her weapon of choice is what? The bullwhip. She wanted the bullwhip because she said, I don't have to have weapons. I don't have to have a gun. Because she was skilled in martial arts. She was skilled in gymnastic, combat skills. You got to be a versatile person, right? So I'm telling you all of this to kind of give you some background. So when I'm looking at y'all superheroes, let me see. Everybody's like, I don't know what I would be. Okay, so let's think about some of the superheroes. Spider-Man, Superman, Captain America, Batman, Wonder Woman, Iron Man. What's some other ones y'all thinking of? Look, I don't know this new stuff. So Thor, Green Lantern, Captain Marvel, The Flash, Wolverine, Aquaman, Doctor Strange, Deadpool, Batgirl, Thor. There you go. So Thor, I was like, oh, okay, Thor. But let's look at some of these supervillains. So supervillains, Thanos, Joker, Lex Luthor, Magneto. What's some of the other? Oh yeah, Black Panther is a good one. Now that was a good one. What's some of the other supervillains? Catwoman was actually a supervillain. Dolomite, okay. Luke Cage, good. Okay, y'all. Doctor Doom, Harley Quinn. If I could have got a Harley Quinn costume, I was going to. Loki, Gladys, Doomsday, Brainiac. Come on, give me some more. Okay, the Hulk, good. Venom. Let's see. The Riddler. Okay, so Dr. Octopus, all of these different people, right? The Joker, good. When you think about all these different supervillains, what sets them apart? What sets the supervillains apart from the superheroes? Tell me that. Because when we are trying to become more resilient, we got to know where we sit. What side are we representing, right? So the superhero is willing to sacrifice any and everything for themselves. They're willing to sacrifice themselves for the good of others, right? So it's the same thing. They looking at what do I have to do in order to make sure people are saved, right? Their strengths and their weaknesses. What is their intent, right? So their strength could also be considered a weakness, right? So if you're thinking about, some people are afraid of fire. So their fear of fire, and it's somebody else's strength. So somebody else's strength is fire. Loud noises. So if there was a supervillain or a superhero that utilized loud noises. See, there's different things that for somebody else is a weakness, but then the opposite can be used as a strength, right? So then we have to look at, what did I say? We were talking about the things that are weaknesses and benefits, right? Anyone who's willing to get in the way of, let me back up. Villains usually do what? They benefit themselves or whatever it is that is going to benefit them, or whatever target there is, whatever their goal is. They are willing to get rid of any and everybody that is going to hinder them from getting to what? Their goals. So their goals, if it is to become worldwide leaders, to dominate different areas, then that's what they're going to do, right? So then it will never be about themselves, but they are willing to sacrifice everybody else, if that makes sense, right? So when you're looking at those strengths and those weaknesses, knowing who they are, if speed for the Flash was a strength for him, it also became his weakness because he was so fast that he ended up turning himself into like an atom or something like that, right? So when you're thinking about the strengths and weaknesses, what we have as our strengths could also be utilized as our weakness depending on the situation, right? So if you think about, like, the Riddler used the riddles because he wanted to be caught. So then he did riddles as a way to confuse people, but as a way to say, just come and get me, right? It was his strength as well as his weakness, because he wanted to confuse people, but he also wanted to be caught. So, if you think about, is it Wonder Woman? If she is tied up, then she loses her strength. So all of the things, Thor without his, I don't know, hammer, if that's the right thing, whatever it is, that if it was their strength, could also become their weakness. So without it, it changes who they are. So what makes you a superhero in your eyes? Tell me what makes you a superhero in your eyes. Is it your children? Is it your career? Is it your family? What is it that you are willing to sacrifice yourself for in order to become that superhero, right? What else could it be? Your goals, your friends, your ability to do something out of the ordinary in order to become extraordinary. That is what a superhero does, right? They take their powers, their skills, and their talents, and we all have them. We all have our own set of powers, skills, and talents that make us extraordinary, that can make us into the heroes that we need to be, right? So as a hero, we look at, we have the things that make us heroes can also be turned around, and then the villains can use those things against us. So villains usually have habits, people, relationships, money, attention, affection. They are willing to do whatever it takes to get whatever it is that they want. So you think about thieves, you think about murderers, you think about rapists, you think about all of the people that are deliberately hurting other people, right? They are the real world dictators, the gangsters, the scientists, the mad scientists, the trophy winners, the people that are willing to lie, steal, and cheat to take in order to make it their own, right? When you are looking at what villains are, their aspirations is about world domination. They could care less about the people that dwell within it. All they want to do is be in control and have that leadership. So you have to think about and really consider, are you, in your life, are there areas where you are the hero, and are there areas where you are the villain? So with Catwoman, she was both. At one point, she was stealing in order to take care of other people. She was taking in order to fulfill the needs that the underdogs needed, right? So if you think about your life right now, are you doing it for yourself, or are you doing it in order to be in control, to be the leader, to be, what are you fighting for? With Catwoman, she was fighting for herself at first, and then she realized that what she was taking, she could help someone else. At one point, she was helping another prostitute to get out of prostitution. So she was finding ways to pay her to get her out of the lifestyle. How many people online right now have done something to help someone else get out of a lifestyle that you knew was not beneficial for them, right? You had to deliberately give of yourself in order to help somebody else, right? And I think that because villains are not necessarily bad, they just look at things in a different way. So they have a need to be in control, and it probably stemmed from them being hurt or manipulated or left aside. And so they said, now I can be in control. I found a way to do it. If you think about a child who didn't get to have their way, and then as soon as you say you can do whatever you want, they are going to do any and everything that they can do in order to get it, right? Same thing with adults. If we want, I can only speak for myself. If I want a relationship, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it. If you don't want to give it to me, I know somebody else that will. Not a healthy thing. But as a villain, that villain mindset is going to be like, I can do it. It doesn't matter what it takes to get there. I'm going to do it. If you think about the hero, the hero says, I need to take into consideration how it's going to affect the other person. How would it affect somebody else if I did this, if I hurt them, if I manipulated them, if I connived my way to get my way? And so then the hero is going to sacrifice myself. My own desires, what I want, has to wait until it's the right time. So if you think about on a religious or a relationship side with God, I cannot, if God says no, but I say yes, is that me being a villain in a sense? Because now I'm just going to go about it my own way. I really don't care if he say, wait, I'm going to just go about it and do it my own way. So then we have to really think about, are we going about it our own way? Are we becoming villains to do it our own way? Or are we ready to be heroes in the sense in order to say, now is not the time. I have to sacrifice my wants and my desires and wait. Right? I have to take care of somebody else before I can have what I want. Right? So when you come to the other side and fight the good fight, it helps those around you. The world needs more people that are willing to help somebody else. We have enough people that's willing to take, right? We got enough people with their hands out like, give me, give me, give me. But what about the people that are willing to give, that are willing to take care of somebody else? Are you a hero or are you a villain? Are you the one that's saying, give me, give me, give me all the time? Or are you the one that's saying, what can I do to help? What can I do to bless? What can I do to sacrifice just a little bit of my time, a little bit of my attention in order to make sure you are safe, to make sure you are healthy, to make sure you have your needs met, right? So it's time to make a decision on which side you are going to fight. It's time for us to train up, study up, practice to show yourself approved. So as superheroes and even as villains, guess what you got to do? You got to be cognitive of what is going on. So you have to do some research, you got to do some digging, you got to do some practicing of your skills, because we all have what? Skills and talents, creative ideas. We all have different powers. So whatever your superpower is, let me tell you something. Your superpower and your strength go hand in hand. So when I say that, my superpower, okay, there you go. Reba, I agree. I think we are both a little bit of both, which is why I said I chose Catwoman, because she was both. We all have a little bit of both in us. There are certain things that we are willing to give, and then there's certain things you like, no, I think I deserve this, and this is what I want. I'm not willing to sacrifice. I'm not willing to let down my guard. This is what I deserve, and this is what I'm going to get, right? I deserve peace. I deserve understanding. I deserve somebody that's willing to listen, not just somebody that is willing to attack me all the time. So at some point, there are just things that are non-negotiable, right? You will not threaten my spiritual walk. You will not threaten my mental status. You will not threaten my finances, because I got to live, right? So then there are things that are non-negotiable that make you the villain, but there are things in life that you give and you're willing to sacrifice. You got to think about the ultimate sacrifice. Are you willing to be the ultimate sacrifice for your fellow man? Are you willing to be the sacrifice in order to build up somebody else, to go back and pull them up and say, hey, I know that you're down, but let me help you, right? So if you think about it, it's not time to ease up. It's time to make a decision and fight. Figure out which side you are today. You could be the villain tomorrow. You could be the hero. Think about which side you're on, but either way, you still have to practice. You got to improve your skill. You got to tighten up. So guess what? Any superhero, any villain, they take time to figure out. I'm sure that the Riddler was just in his mind coming up with different riddles. I'm sure that Catwoman practiced all of her combat-like skills. She practiced, and it was a time where, as a villain, you are motivated by your own self-interest. And sometimes it's just out of fun. So if you think about it, you like, I'm going to do this because it's fun. When I went and did modeling, I did it because I wanted to feel pretty. I wanted to feel sexy. And then guess what? I thought it was just fun. It was fun for me. It wasn't always right? That's what made me the villain to a lot of people. It was not always right in their eyes. However, to me, I said, I'm giving back to the people that need to see it. I'm giving back to the people who feel like they can't be sexy. I'm giving back to the people who feel like they are unappreciated. I'm giving back to the people who feel like they cannot look at themselves in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. I'm wonderfully made, and I can get dressed up and I can still feel beautiful. Or if I don't get dressed up, I still know that I have the ability to be just that, right? As a But as the villain, I'm like, if you don't like it, then keep it moving. If you don't like how I'm get what I have to give you, then keep it moving. Or I'm going to take your piece, or I'm going to take your time, or I'm going to take your attention, and then I'm going to keep it moving because now it belongs to me. Think about how a thief has to practice, right? You have to be deliberate. You have to be very cunning. You have to be on point. You can't be a half second off because you're going to throw it off, right? You have to think about all of it. There's so much that goes on that you have to perfect your craft. The same thing that goes for the heroes. I have to make sure that if I am the hero, I cannot let up. Black Panther didn't have time to let up. As soon as he let down his guard, guess what? The temple got taken over, right? You have to be on guard. You have to be ready. If Batman got distracted by Catwoman because of how appealing she looked to him, then guess what? He got caught up. It was always a time where if you let your guard down because you're not practiced, because you're not ready, because you ain't, you haven't taken the time to study, to show yourself, to really cultivate your skills and your talents. Now your powers are weak. Are your powers weak today? Are your strengths and your abilities, your talents, are they weak today? That's what you should be asking yourself. So I'll leave you with this thought because I know I'm getting close on my time. I watched the movie Mortal Kombat, right? I watched Mortal Kombat the other day or last week or something, and I thought, there were so many heroes, and yet at the end, there were so many villains, and yet at the end, the hero still found a way to win. Why? There's always somebody else that's still practicing when you out there just doing your thing. Somebody else is still in the gym getting their workout on. There's still somebody else that's getting their study on. There's still somebody else that is perfecting their craft. And at the right time that you need them, guess what? They come out. They come out and they're there as your support. You got to think about on a spiritual realm, anytime that you need God, God is there. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to say, I need it. You're always going to seem outnumbered, right? Always will seem outnumbered when it comes to the enemy or the villain. But you are always going to win if you are on the winning team. The winning team, the hero always wins. Y'all already know. At the end of the movie, who's still winning? The hero. The heroes don't die. They multiply like baby's kids. Right? So there's always going to be a battle. And there's always somebody that's going to be behind the scenes that is kind of like your just in case. Keep it in the back pocket. And all of a sudden, they're going to come right at when you're like, this is it. I don't have nothing else. All my strength is gone. They brought out the kryptonite. And now guess what? All of a sudden, you're in the pocket, come out, and it's like, boom. I'm here for you. Let me help you out. I got you. It is such a awesome battle when you know that there's still a war to be won, but you won the battle because there was somebody else that was still in the gym, still in there, in the lab, so to speak, working on their craft, perfecting who they are, strengthening their skills, strengthening their talents, growing their power within themselves in order to be able to use it at the right time. Are you using your powers at the right time, or are you not practicing your skill, and now all of a sudden your strength, your power, your anointing, your growth is gone, is depleted? Who you are as a hero or as a villain at different times, we are both. So whenever you are the villain, are you looking at yourself and you saying, I think I deserve this and I'm going to get it. I'm not going to let nobody stop me. If somebody was after your child and they threatened your child, would you be like, ain't nobody going to stop me from protecting my child? You about to be the villain because I don't care who it is, right? If somebody threatens your family, they threaten your livelihood, they threaten to harm you in any way, you're going to be the villain that day. You're not trying to just be the hero and say, okay, I know that everybody, no, whoever's in my way that's threatening me about to get it. And I seen it on TikTok, the girl said, meet me outside. I think it's the same way, okay? we have to be the villain when the time is right, and we have to also be the hero when the time is right. Whatever your power is, oh, that's a good one. He said disappear. Yeah. Look, my best friend she'll tell you, she quick. I remember back in the day, she used to be like, disappear on that tail, honey. Block, delete, disappear. It's time. If that is your superpower, if your superpower is to nurture, I am a nurturer by nature. So I think that is part of my superpower. I take the time to listen and to nurture and to love on and cultivate. So when it's time to use my superpower, if I know that there is somebody in need of it, I give it. And I'm not going to just give a little bit. I'm going to give it all. Because I've been nurturing. I've been learning how to perfect my craft. I've been learning how to love on people. I've been loving how to give to people. I've been learning how to be exactly what they need me to be when they need me to be it. Because now I'm willing to sacrifice my time, my attention, my affection to that child, to that person, to that family member, to that job. Because that's what's needed. Right? You have to know which one to be and when to be it. So, I know that y'all thought I was just going to say I was a superhero, but I'm not. I have both, and you have both. So, until we meet again, make sure that you know that you can win the battle, but there is always a war. So, just keep winning those battles and keep preparing and growing your superpowers. Keep utilizing your power and learning how to make it better, learning how to be good at it. You got to practice, though. You got to find a way to practice, right? So that when it's time to cultivate your craft, your skill, your talent, your powers, you are ready to use it and use the authority behind it. Use the power behind it. Let it not just be a little bit. If I got to do fireballs, I can't just have a little fireball like, bing. No, I'm going to make a fireball and I'm going to make sure that I use it in, I don't know what it is from the Pokemon or something. I don't know. But until we meet again, guess what? Our next show is going to be on May 24th, and we are talking about what? Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. So make sure that you don't miss out on May 24th at 8 p.m. We talking about leveling up, y'all. Leveling up. Are you ready to level up? Are you ready to level up? Because it's time. It's time. Now that you know if you're a superhero or a supervillain, it is both. Yet you have power. You have power in your hand. You have power in your being to create, to take away, to divide, to know when to keep it and when to throw it away. So I will see you on May 24th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, talking about leveling up, and I cannot wait to see you. So until then, love, peace, joy, and happiness. I love y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for taking time out to listen and to appreciate you being the superheroes and the supervillains. So be sure to tune in, like, love, subscribe, go hit comment. I cannot wait until the 24th, y'all. I love y'all. I will see y'all soon. All right. Blessings and peace. Bye.